Dreamlight Valley. Let's get in here. Yeah, we already. Thank you very much. But I do think Silent Hill 2's remake is going to be just polarizing for people, because there's going to be people that don't want to enjoy it because it's a remake, which I think is silly. If you enjoy the game, enjoy the game. Like, that's just. And I think there's some people that are going to make it hard for other people to enjoy the game, for the same reason. But it's just like I said before while we were playing Silent Hill. Like, for me, I'm excited for the remake because there's a lot of people, like, people think because they get in these, like, echo chambers, okay, thank you for the coal, I guess, because they get in these, like, echo chambers, they think that, you know, everybody knows about, you know, Silent Hill, but people forget that there are thousands, hundreds of thousands of people that may have never even played a Silent Hill game, let alone know about it. So you know, and even if they've heard about it, that doesn't mean they've played it. So that's what I'm interested in seeing, is seeing all these people, you know, play a Silent Hill game for the first time. You know, even though I've mentioned on more than one occasion, James is my least favorite protagonist, at least so far. As we're playing through the series, well, maybe that'll change, but I still like Silent Hill 2. So I'm very interested to see, like, how it sits with other people. Wait, come here. Huh. A deal. He's refusing to pay. It doesn't sound like Donald. I'll talk to him.
Oh,
okay.
Doesn't anyone here know how to have fun?
But I don't know. Yeah, like I said, one thing that I've realized as of late is, like, the bigger the community gets, the more there are people that just want to be negative in those communities, and then there's people that, like, observe the community and find any negative thing to talk about. Like, I saw something, I think it was yesterday, where somebody was like, the DBD community is so terrible because this one person said something terrible. And I'm like, okay, one, like, imagine someone saying that about any other community, right? Like, that's it's just silly that you're like, oh, this one person said something terrible, and they should be held accountable, don't get me wrong. It's just, that doesn't represent the entire community, right? That's just silly. Okay, I'm not seeing anything in here that we want. But, so when I mean the community, I mean that more than one person is, you know, viewing this thing in negative light. And, you know, again, that's up to them. You know, they have a right to view things as they wish. It's just Mirabelle's food. It's just that, wheat, milk, eggs, something salty, and it's not meat or fish or a vegetable. Okay, interesting.
Well as a team.
What is this? That's a Matryoshka doll, right? Something comes a knocking. But you know, as the community gets larger, the more negativity that seems to sprout up from it. And it's just so disheartening sometimes to see that, because it's like, I know there's going to be people that pick up Silent Hill for the first time, and then someone's going to come in, you know, in their chat or on their Twitter or whatever they communicate with, and, you know, tell them why they shouldn't like a thing, and it's just like, I don't... Because I've already seen multiple people that, one, that have the... They're very pretentious about it, like, well, I know Silent Hill, thus I know that it's not going to be good. And it's like, you haven't even played it, right? Like, how could you know something like that? And they just feel like because they've spent so much time with the older games that they just know that this new game is not going to be good. Specifically the remake. No one's really talking about the new game yet, the Silent Hill F, because we don't know anything about it other than it's set in like an earlier Japan period. But it's just very strange to me. That people are like that. Because again, they're entitled to their opinions, but the problem is they're not taking accountability for their opinion, which is what drives me up the wall, basically. Is the fact of, like, if they phrase it as, like, I don't think I'm going to like this, that's fine, right? That's your opinion, you're entitled to it. But when you're telling other people not to like it, that's just being crappy, right? That's just being a naysayer for the sake of publicity. You know, I spent 10,000 hours in X game, so I know this new game is gonna just be awful. It's just like, you can't know that. You really can't. And also, you're talking about within your community, right? There's probably a lot of people that will agree with you within your community that they don't like the remake. But, like, that, again, that's fine. But again, take accountability for that. Don't be like, everyone should not like this game. Like, the only time where that stuff matters is when you find out the devs have done something, the devs or the company have done something untoward, and you're like, okay, we should hold them accountable by, you know, boycotting this game or this series or whatever until they, you know, have some sort of thing, whether that's a apology or a clarification or whatever. But other than that, I don't really see why there's weird call to arms hating on things. Especially things you haven't even played yet, man.
This place is starting to look amazing.
Oh, they...
Good day, dear.
How much would this cost? Oh, 1,000. That's not bad. Because again, if people get their hands on it and they're like, wow, I really didn't enjoy it, that's fine. It's okay to not enjoy something. Let's do that again. I don't know how many times we can upgrade this, but... I'm guessing it's up to like 4 times.
Hello.
Okay, we don't have enough money for that, but that's
Thank you
basically...
kindly.
Okay, so how much does she have now? Is it 2 storage per or 1 storage per? Okay, it looks like it's 2 storage per.
This is so great. I'm making a bunch of new friends.
But yeah, I don't know, man.
Never forget kindness can defeat anything.
I really wish people would just let people have fun. Okay, so what are we looking at? First and foremost, we need to get some people leveled up. Okay, we need Elsa for foraging. Daisy is... yeah. Fishing, foraging. Penelope's fishing. Okay, so we'll need another gardener, because the only one we have currently is Daisy. Are you gardener? No. Okay, so let's grab Elsa and level her up a bit, wherever she might be. Oh, she's at her house. Okay. But yeah. That's down here. I think there's too many people out here, you know, really just hating on things because it's the internet and not because they, you know, actually have any sort of like realistic reason. Because I really do think there's been a large change in communication because of how, like, social media works. Wait, it says she was in here. Oh, did it do the weird thing where she's in here but not in here? Yep, yes it did. Okay. Alright, well, we'll worry about that later. Who else can we grab? Mirabelle. Who really wanted Elsa. She wants fish pasta, teriyaki salmon, and a shiny amethyst. Because she's so close. The problem is that she's not in here. Can't get through there. But I don't know. Like I said, I have a lot of hope for the remake. I think it could be a really good stepping off point for the series. Also, I don't know if it's been validated, but I did see someone mention that the developers, or maybe Konami or something, had kind of talked about potentially why they didn't start with 1, and I think it's actually might have been a much smarter decision the way they're handling it. Because, like, a lot of people, myself included, were like, why are you not starting with 1? If you're going to remake a series, why not start with 1? And one thing that I saw, again, I have not verified this, but I'd be interested to see if it is true, is the reason why they did that is because 1 and 3's story is so connected that they might want to release those in that order. There's also mentioned that some comments that Silent Hill 2 might have came before Silent Hill 1, like in-game time-wise, like in the timeline. I'm not sure. Again, I'm not sure if that's true. There's a rift on Mickey's house. Interesting. But I'd be very interested to see if that stuff's actually true, because it's like that would make a lot of sense. Because if you don't know, Origins and 1 and 3 all deal with Alessa's story. Now, Origins is more about Travis than Alessa. It's just Travis is connected to Alessa's story. It's not really necessary to the story. Basically, it added a little information on how Alessa survived a fire, but it didn't really add much to the story proper. I'm actually gonna log out real quick and see if we get Elsa to come out of her house. Because I kind of want to level up Elsa, but she's like in her house but not in her house, which we've had happen a few times with like Anna and stuff. But so that could be interesting reasoning, and I think if that is the reasoning, I think that's fine. It's just I think the focus is trying to be on the new game in 2, the 2 remake. So that's probably why they're not mentioning the other ones, because they want to see how the 2 remake does before they're like, yeah, let's remake everything. We have plans to remake everything. Which, I don't think everything in the Silent Hill series needs to be remade, if I'm honest, because I don't really think like Homecoming and Downpour need an update, or like a remaster version. I think they need quality of life updates. So maybe if they're going to release a version of those, then nope, she's still there. Now Anna's stuck in her house too. Okay, we got Donald to talk to. So I wanted to get somebody that's got gathering. I guess we'll just have to grab Mirabelle. Where are you going, Donald? What happened? She tried to trick me. Special gift for you, and she gave me that mysterious blue box. She told me not to open it. I was about to give it to you when I saw the box open itself and start eating Dreamlight Mask. I told her I wasn't going to pay her or give it back to her or give it because the screw with it. She got mad. That's so nice of you. Least I could do, but now that I know about it, we should destroy it. Good idea. I'll go fetch it. It's in your house. Okay. So like, I don't fault them for wanting to see how 2 Remake does for making that stuff, and it'd be interesting to see, because like if they are waiting to do the full like Alessa story, I'm curious if we're not gonna get a different game, right? Are we gonna get a game that's basically 1 and 3 together, but like only story wise? Because that's very interesting. And technically, like, Shattered Memories is a reimagining of 1 as well. So I don't know. It could be very interesting to see where they go with that. But again, the focus should be on 2 and making sure. And also, they're giving an outside team kind of a swing at it, which I think is interesting. Crack this one. No, that's not what I wanted. I wanted to talk to Donald. The hitboxes in this game are a little wonky. So, like, look at that. That's how far the enter is, even though I can get all the way there. But I wanted to talk to Donald. Let's go to the Cursed Cave. We'll destroy it there. It won't follow us after being trapped inside for so long. Okay. But I don't know. It's gonna be interesting, because again, I think we live in a day and age where there's a lot of like social pressure for that kind of stuff. Because like a perfect example is a lot of people are playing through that new Wukong game. I don't remember what the full title is, but it's the game where you basically play through Wukong story in, it's like Chinese myth, I believe. But and that game like exploded in player base, and a lot of people are like, that's because the game is so amazing. But what they didn't realize is it was actually partially because, not completely, but partially because it released simultaneously in China and in North America at the same time, so there was a big overlap between all of those players playing in one time. And once the players from China stopped playing, and like it fell off drastically. You know, it lost like, I think like 2/3 of its base. I guess we gotta get out of this cave to talk to Donald, which is interesting to see. Let's go to the restaurant together. Okay. Fun dinner. We keep the leftovers. Oh, it's like a charcuterie board. Interesting. But, and the thing is like, if people are enjoying the game, they should enjoy the game. I think that there was just one issue that I saw where I don't even think it was the developers. I think it was like the head of the company was trying to set like specific streaming guidelines. Hey, Rain, how you doing? About the Wukong stuff, like you couldn't say or do certain things while streaming it or whatever, which is never a good look, by the way. Telling streamers, you know, not to say certain things is a good way to get streamers to say exactly that thing, especially when it's, you know, harmful not to mention those things. But But like honestly, I'm just glad people are enjoying it. If even outside of that, because you know it's even if it's not a game that you play, that doesn't mean you have the right to ruin someone else's experience. You're good. You're doing okay? How's it going? We're doing fine. We're just talking about some stuff. Talking about the Silent Hill 2 remake. Talking about the Wukong game. And basically just communities in general and how kind of a lot of that stuff's been influenced by social media, one way or the other. So, where is Ursula? Where is Ursula? She should be... Yeah, there she is. I was gonna say, she should be blue. But, There's just a lot of online discourse about a lot of things.
Come here, my child.
Merely a test to see if you were paying attention to. Oh, why bother? Just can't do it. This was a scheme. Donald asked for a gift to give you, and I saw the opportunity that captures Dreamlight. Can't trick you. You've been too loyal to me all this time. It's important that you've come clean. You're always forgiving, so it's infuriating and contagious. What am I becoming? Formerly ruthless deal maker with a soft spot for do-gooders? Here, this is for you. A token of appreciation and apology. Interesting. Some gemstones. Thanks, I guess. Silent Hill 2 remake is going to be interesting. So much of the Discord is already exhausted. Yeah, that's kind of what we were talking about, is that there's a lot of people that are already, like, talking about how terrible the game's going to be without... like really talking about why the game's gonna be there. It's just interesting to me because like there's the only problem is a lot of people that got their hands on it first were like bigger publications, and publications they kind of have to fight themselves when it comes to that stuff because on one hand they don't want to oh, Daisy is gardening. Okay, never mind. So let's get Daisy. There she is. They don't want to shoot themselves in the foot by being like, wow, this game is garbage. Never give us a key ever again to review your games, right? They don't want to do that. But on the other hand, they want to keep a certain level of honesty, otherwise nobody will read the publication. So they kind of walk on a razor's edge when it comes to that stuff.
Aww. What? Oh. Oh. Don't be a stranger.
So like that's the only problem with people getting the hands on early is because a lot of them will be like, this is a lot better than you might think, and it's just like, okay, that doesn't really say much. But
my neighbors are great.
But you know, it's kind of, for me, it's a wait and see. And like I was mentioning earlier, for me, I think the goal is if it can bring more players to the fandom, I'm okay with it. I don't need it to be some perfect iteration or recreation or whatever. Oh, I missed the last potato. I think there's a lot of stuff that kind of holds on its own. And a lot of people are like, well, Bloober Team doesn't have the best track record with XYZ. And I'm like, okay. You forget, though, they're not working on something completely new, right? Two major things are different here. One, they're working with an already established thing, right? So if they have any questions, they could just refer back. They can look at Silent Hill 2 and go, okay, what did this game do? Right? And then two, they have Konami probably breathing down their necks to make sure that this goes well. I don't think Konami's just like, yeah, we gave it to Bloober Team and our hands are off, right? Like, I don't think they've ever said that they're very hands-off with Bloober Team on this, right? So, like, I feel like there's some obvious, like, okay, we'll see what they give us, but being like downright like, oh, this is gonna be terrible because Bloober Team, you know, it's like, one, that's insulting to Bloober Team, because I don't think they've put out a bad game, at least not that I've played. They might not put out perfect games or whatever, or your 10 out of 10s or whatever you want to call them, but I don't think they've ever put out a bad game. Potatoes are up here, I think. Though if they're also doubling the length of the game, I could see some nerves about their additions. Yeah, but the thing is I think they've mentioned what those additions are coming from, and I think it's just exploration. The medium is questionable. Is that the one where you split between the two worlds, where you're like you, and then you go into a spirit world? Because I really enjoyed that game. I actually really enjoyed that game. Yeah, so potatoes are up here. That's what I thought. Alright, so let's... Alright, sell these, and then sell those. So it's 8,000, we're getting 8,000 back. We'll see how much we get from... Or how much that gives us. Bye. Okay, so we get 8,000, and it costs us 2,200. So that's a gain of essentially 6,100. So yeah, I think the potato seeds are going to be our jam for a while. Enjoyed 70% of it. I found much of the end game to be objectionable, especially narratively. It's been a while since I've played it. I'll have to go back and see, but I don't remember having like any specific issues with the game. But again, it's been a while because I think I played it either at release or very shortly after release. So, but again, I have not played the entire Bloober Team catalog either. I'm sure like with any company, they have their issues. But the thing is, a lot of people like to forget that like every company starts like that. Like a lot of people are like, oh, Blizzard was like one of the top companies. They don't say so much now because of all the issues between them and Activision and the buyout and all that stuff. Back in the day, it was like Blizzard was like the team. Right, but people forget they started out making games like Rad Racer and Lost Vikings, and even though Lost Vikings is an okay, you know, puzzle platformer, it is very tedious and unforgiving. You know, so sometimes you have to, you know, make a few things that are like to be able to really nail it. And the thing is I think they have something to prove here too, for a couple of reasons. One, they don't want to burn goodwill with Konami, right? Because if Konami likes how this game works and people buy into it and stuff, Konami could very easily be like, okay, now we need our remake of 1 or 3 or Homecoming or whatever they decide to do next, right? So they don't want to burn that bridge. So I think there's extra effort being spent there. And also, again, I think the major component that a lot of people are forgetting is that they're not working from scratch. This isn't something they're building from the ground up, right? They're working off something that's already been made. Like, they have a story to base it off. They have characters to base it off. They have voice lines and actors and all the stuff that's already created. All they have to do is refer to that and then recreate it in kind of their own vision. But based on what I saw about the additions thing, is basically most of the additions I saw were like exploration-based additions. So like a lot of the stores that you run through the city will be explorable. I don't know how I feel about that, honestly, because it could make things be very, because they're the only other explorable game I would say was Downpour, which a lot of people had problems with because of the structure. Also, optimization. Downpour was awful on release. But Mirabelle. Okay, I was like, who am I trying to find? Since Elsa doesn't want to come out of her house, we gotta get Mirabelle. And she's going over there. Of course she is. But, I don't know. Like I said, it's okay for everybody to form their opinion. If they play the game and they don't like it, that's fine. If they play the game and they love it, that's fine. I'm just exhausted with the people that have not even touched the game and being like, this is gonna be the worst thing possible. And it's just like, how do you know? You know? well, based on the gameplay and the videos that I've seen, it looks terrible. It's like, you know how many games looked amazing in the trailers and gameplay we saw, and then immediately were garbage once we played them? Like, it goes both ways, man. Like, there's been a ton of games where people are like, oh, I can't wait for this game, I can't wait for this game, because of all these trailers and stuff, and then you find out, like, no, those games were not fun. You know. So, like, it goes both ways. You could really love the trailer and expect something amazing and not get what you want. You can also look at the trailer, expect something bad, and get something good, right? Like, that's why I'm just like, I'm gonna keep an open mind about it, because it's just like, if it turns out to be bad, then, you know, all those people that said it was gonna be bad, they're vindicated, right? They got it. They were right. Cool. Good for you, I guess. You know, but